So, like, whatever I do on there, it will do on here.
Yeah, you want me to scoot this back so they can see all of us? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, scoot it away from me, the real star of the podcast, Lillian Rose Albrecht, right here. So the intro.
Mike Olson from Fish Addictions TV, and you're listening to Fish Addictions Radio.
That was Mike.
What is a podcast?
Hey, we got one live viewer. Comment in the comment section. We'll be able to see who's viewing the podcast.
Look, you go tomorrow, we have a little competition and see what happens. Tomorrow's getting plenty on the line. Tomorrow looks tight. So when we do the podcast tomorrow here, we'll see who's on the microphone with our top gun.
That was Myron Gilbert in Latvia. Those are my guys in Bulgaria. If you're listening in Bulgaria, give me a little note in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. What time is it in Bulgaria right now? I think it's like 3 a.m. Likely they're not.
4 o'clock.
4 a.m.
A big was.
That's you, yeah. Hey, no, keep right. That's
change the way how you're fishing and you will
my
have
friend from
nothing.
Finland.
The result will be zero.
The Paul Rosinski.
Is that recording?
Which is
oh yeah. So this is the intro to season 1. So we wanted to.
There's somewhere where you're going to catch fish.
It's Harry Wall.
You worry about tide later. The idea is just to have a good time.
We still have one viewer. What's up, one viewer? Thanks for watching. Myron was sweaty that day on the bus in Latvia. Do you know who Myron is? Have you ever met Myron? You would love Myron. He's like a grandpa you never had.
But the Jesus tree, the first round.
That's Myron, right there.
To be off and broke me in something me right now. I only got a big one. I mean, maybe first fish of the whole tournament, you know, right there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't go to church every Sunday.
I heard that voice.
You know, belief there, so I said the Jesus tree will do me good. And it did.
Is this like one big podcast? Or these like little podcasts all together?
It would be one ginormous podcast.
I know, but like, are they little parts of different podcasts
Yeah.
all together?
Yeah, different parts. That was you. Remember that? Yeah.
I don't.
It's almost showtime, man. You ready to dance?
No.
We get to dance together.
No
Wanna do it?
thanks. No thanks.
We
No.
YouTube this shit.
No.
There we go.
No.
Ready? Oh, we're going to be dancing live at Cabela's too. This is what we call the perch dance. You do it if you're catching perch, and you do it if you're not catching perch. Keith McAlpine knows about the perch. Carol, yeah, Violet, Ohio. Carol, you should be doing perch dances. You'll catch more perch. You have the wave going down. I like that. That's awesome. You gonna do this at Cabela's next week?
No, thank you.
How far is Milan, Ohio from Cabela's? Carol, you might be able to drive in and see this live. That'd be awesome. Next week, 7 o'clock, Cabela's.
True. Patrick for the true one.
That was Patrick Olson. Broken Lines podcast. They're going to watch us eventually.
Doing more traveling and more shows.
Mike Olson.
More people. And
my guy.
I think what makes Fish Addictions TV so fun is the fact that we show that camaraderie aspect of ice fishing that everybody actually enjoys, and probably most of the reason why people actually go ice fishing. And we got a lot. She did battle with it.
Getting ready.
Drag runs, you know, so pulling the line.
Terry, what's up, man?
Finally got it up to the ice, and I looked on the hole, and there was probably 35 to 40 inches of ice. The back of the pipe basically covered a tank.
Dude, yeah, Vermilion. We've been there. We love it. The Winter Days Festival. We'll be there again.
Fishing is all about an open blank space that I can create whatever I want to.
Third episode of this podcast was done in Vermilion.
Can I go get a
Here we go. Yeah.
I think I got the Mike at Fish Addiction TV. Now I got something exciting that's about to
My
happen.
throat hurts
You
because
guys are
you
about to
dumped soap
witness
in my
the very
nose.
first
That's not good.
episode of season 2, Fish Addictions Radio. Now, what I think is really cool and special about Fish Addictions Radio is the fact that you guys are going to get to follow us everywhere we go for season 3 of Fish Addictions TV. Scott and I are going to keep in contact with each other throughout the winter on ice as we're traveling, keep up to date with weather, the bite, and who knows what's going to happen. I hope you guys follow us on Fish Addictions Radio.
All right. So at this point in time in the podcast, we're going to start it. So we will say something like,
Sorry, I lighted some lights back there.
it's all right. So we're actually going to start the podcast now, Lillian. You ready?
I'm totally.
All right. We just got to pretend like we're at Cabela's on Saturday, right? Live from Cabela's, actually live from our dining room. We use this for like holidays and stuff like that, like Easter, like break out the china. Hopefully don't we break the china. Yeah, we're hanging out live here in the dining room, preparing for next Saturday. What's happening next Saturday, Lillian?
We're gonna go to Cabela's and do a big podcast.
Season 2 launch. It's going to be awesome. So we're doing a live feed on both YouTube and Facebook, and we've got the GoPro rocking it out. I've got backup audio being recorded right now because we were talking to our friends from Fish Nerds, another podcast that's been around for about 5 years now, and they gave us a tip: have backup to the backups, because when you go live, everything that can go wrong does go wrong, and that's going to be the thrill of watching us live next Saturday at 7 p.m. is because whether we have radio gold for you or everything just completely botches, it's going to be a great show. So what is Fish Addictions Radio? Let's kind of cover that with the audience next Saturday. So Fish Addictions Radio is an ice fishing podcast that's year-round. Wrap your head around that for a second, okay? So when it's 90 degrees in the summertime and you're tired of talking about regular fishing, if you've got a crave for something ice fishing related, we're going to be talking about ice fishing. Yeah, 365 days a year. It's a weekly podcast. It comes out on iTunes and Google Play. You can use a Stitcher app, a TuneIn Radio app to find us, and we're also all of our episodes are on YouTube. Facebook. And we put our episodes also on fishaddictionsradio.com. So season 1 began last December in Ukraine. We recorded that the year prior, and then we went to Latvia. We went to Vermilion, which is where Carol's near, in Milan, Ohio. What? And then we went to Chicago. We actually Ukraine. Well, yeah, Ukraine. Yeah. And then now in Chicago, we got Greg Wolchinski on the line. Now I can say his name right. And we've just been interviewing people ever since. So, and then we took like a little bit of a hiatus. It was like March timeframe for season 1. And I just stopped podcasting. I got back from Latvia and it was spring, and May came around. And you know what? I think that's when the year-round itch kind of got to me. And I said, we're going to pick this back up. And we started the summer series at that point in time. And that's when we introduced our new co-host, Lillian Rose Albrecht. And so she'd come along and just talk about the story of how we got into fishing, how we got into ice fishing, how we got into the industry of ice fishing, and even how we got to podcasts. Like we actually have an episode on our podcast.
How we catch the rainbow fish.
Oh yeah, Tommy the Trout. There's an episode about Tommy the Trout, which hangs in my office now. I have an idea about a taxidermy episode in season 2, just to talk about live hangs versus regular hangs. And so this season 2 is going to launch in Cabela's next Saturday. So what we did for this episode, we've never done this before. We interviewed 5 people. Actually, we kept on interviewing people, so I think it's now 7. But we asked those people 5 questions, the same 5 questions. Lillian, Question number 1 was, what are you most excited about for this upcoming winter? So Lillian, what are you the most excited about for this upcoming ice fishing season?
I kind of like. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we asked Dave Gentz. We asked Myron Gilbert. We asked Brad Hawthorne. We asked Tony Boschold. We asked Brian Brosdale those questions. So let's hear from them and see what they are most looking forward to this upcoming ice fishing season. You ready?
Did you just pause it?
I didn't pause it. No, we are still absolutely live. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. So the question again, what are you most looking forward to this ice fishing season?
I don't know what that means. Did you just pause it? It's still.
No, it's going to start off with Brad
I'm
Hawthorne.
really excited about doing that. Should I step
No,
back
Myron.
from fishing some and try my hand coaching some here, see if I can help make a difference that way, Scott.
A coach on the ice always, Myron, and the official title just makes it that much richer. I do believe
Took a blast.
with you in the ear of the best anglers in the United States, it's only going to make us more of a contender, and I'm excited about the potential in Kazakhstan this year.
You're the man, Kevin.
Basically, just getting out there,
This is Brad Hawthorne.
doing the ice. I love getting out there,
So
drilling
can
holes.
you take out
And
that part?
the point I love about winter is
We're live.
it's so
Can't take
easy to
anything out,
fish
but yeah,
for
I'll
so
take
many
it.
different
I'll edit it out.
species. You know, if you have all your rods, you have your walleye and your stuff together, you can literally, if the body of water allows you to do it, you can fish
Thanks, Kevin.
3-4 different species.
You got 2
in a
Kevins
day
talking to me right now.
and just have a ball.
Kowalski, we got to get you on the podcast, man.
The most
It's
exciting
gonna
part
happen.
of ice fishing is new every
This is
year.
Brian
It's brand new.
Brosdale.
When the lake freezes, then you can walk on it. It's indescribable to people outside of the ice belt. And
Do you remember walking on ice for the
it's
first time?
quiet, and the lake is yours
It's pretty awesome.
for the most part. Some places it's busy, but I love
almost
being able
fell.
to be in close proximity to
Yeah.
my fish. They're right underneath my feet. In a
I
boat,
don't want the
you might drive
computer
through a
to
through and
You
they're
have a computer and
20,
I don't.
30, 40, 80 feet away. Ice fishing, you're one-on-one with the fish. And this year, I'm looking forward to.
I got to know not to pick my nose on camera for the live Cabela's thing. I have like a constant itch on my nose, so I promise I'm not actually gold digging up there.
I lost my tooth yesterday.
Oh yeah, dude, show the tooth over here too.
If I have my map chips, give you a real
This-
bird's eye
Who,
position
how'd you lose your tooth yesterday?
And,
Well,
it's fun to
we
be
got
in close
home
proximity to fish. Your fish are right
and
there.
me and my daddy, I went upstairs and then he scared me and then
it's
he
amazing being able to watch
tackled me
fish
and then
with
he
their
bumped
natural
my tooth
movement.
out.
swim
Daddy
under
knocked
you.
the tooth out.
You know, they use an aqua
Fist
view,
bumps.
and I also use my own eyeballs looking down in a hole in clear water. But I like seeing fish when
Have you ever
they're,
used your own eyeballs to see
so I
fish
guess
in the water?
I'm excited just for it's brand new. Every year it's brand new. Ice fishing is brand new.
I'll be able to turn the audio on Bro up.
Do different
at
things
Cabela's.
every year. And
We're
every
putting
week,
our son to sleep right now, so I'm trying to keep it
not necessarily
loud enough for you to hear, but not too loud.
community spots. There's no map, but it's nice being able to
Daddy, can I press
ice fishing
anything?
every year. The first time
Can we
you get on
switch
safe ice,
computers?
4
Yeah,
inches
you
of
want to
ice,
switch sides?
you know, for all those listeners out there who don't
No,
ice fish,
switch
don't go on
computers.
fix stuff. Even if you see people out there, they're out of their
Daddy,
mind
can
because
I press?
the risk is too great. I like
Yeah.
living
You want to press?
in. No, have
I want to
friends
press
with
you.
Say 4 inches of ice.
Click that.
And living is
Leave that-
really
leave that up.
the key in ice fishing and all extreme
Daddy,
sports.
can
I
I
don't think
click
much people
you?
after watching grumpy
Sure.
old men put ice fishing in the category of an extreme sport.
She can read.
But you
Isn't that
know,
awesome?
I was
Yeah.
equated to like
I can actually read.
scuba diving, and people are always
Have you ever equated
You know,
ice
like
fishing to
ice fishing
skydiving and
special.
scuba
It's
diving?
because you're out of
No,
your
I really
walking
haven't.
on the water. And there is an element of risk there that gives your adrenaline a little boost, you know? And that's what's so weird and cool and fantastic about it. And I think you're right on with that.
Dude, Kevin from Cincy?
You're hitting on the head.
What?
Uh,
Kevin?
out of body.
Dude, all right, so
Kevin.
Kevin from
Oh.
Cincy, if you're still watching,
Absolutely, and ice is beautiful when you have a snowy capped bunch of trees around the lake. And
Lillian wrote it, man. Very excited that you tuned into the podcast today.
on safe ice,
I'm
and when there's no
taking
snow on
another
it,
one of those.
and
We
it's
got one
clear, you
viewer
can
right
watch
now.
fish start away from you as you walk
I know.
out there. You can walk through
Daddy,
wheat beds
Do you have
and see
another one of
everything.
those?
And then you get to the drop
One
off.
of these,
This dark
Yeah.
and mysterious, you know.
Fish Addiction Radio
Yeah.
postcards.
Yeah.
I follow cracks.
No, we lost our one listener.
Man,
Dude, he's back. All right.
and makes cracks. And the cracks give you a clue how thick the ice is. You can
Daddy.
look at the crack and you say,
Yeah.
you know, by short
Do you have
portion
more?
of ice, and that crack has
you're right on
gotten thicker. But I always check. I always have a life vest on, and even on my sled, I have a quick.
We're listening to
label.
Brian
I
Brosdale
never
right
take a
now.
chance,
Answer
and
the
nobody
question:
should
what are
ever
you
do
the
that.
most
But
looking forward to
You
this
can follow
upcoming
the cracks
ice
that
fishing
get
season?
through ice. And always wear cleats so you don't get a concussion. You know, there's nothing more slippery than ice, but imagine not just walking on your steps, but walking a whole day on the ice. You know, you better have.
What my name in cursive?
Ooh, Lillian's name in cursive. Check that out.
Ice conditions are really neat for fishing. They make it tough.
If you're viewing us now, comment so I can see who's viewing us. If you comment, I can actually
Name in
say hello
cursive.
to you live on
And
the
I
air.
can read. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, this is
there's
crazy.
irregularities where the ice doesn't have a lot of clarity.
So that was Brian Brosdale. We asked the same question to Anthony Rodriguez, which is, what are you doing this upcoming ice fishing
Daddy,
season?
what happened?
Tom Hackathorn, what's up, buddy? Hey, welcome to the live preview of next Saturday's show.
There's a couple things I'm really, really excited
What in the
about.
world's
You
going
know,
on?
real
How
big
do I
on
get
the
this
national
to go
board,
out?
and
I'm not sure.
We're all going to Comics Fan too, so
How do I get this?
split right now. on What
That
I'm most
little
excited about.
red
But
thing, that
I'd have
white?
to say the biggest thing I'm most excited about is to get back up to the championship, man, and meet up with all the buddies and all
Get
my
rid-
all
no,
my
wait.
friends that I
Let me
take
press
my life, man.
X.
It's crazy to me.
Lawrence is
amount
in the
of good people
house.
that this
LL Cool J. How you doing, brother? We got to get you and your family on the podcast. That's for real. It's going to be called the Family Fishing Frenzy. I have not forgotten about you and Ashley, man. It's going to be sick.
Can I press X?
This is Dave Gentz's interview.
Can I press X?
No.
Thanksgiving.
Look, I can't get
Sometimes
this
I have to
off.
drive quite a ways to make that happen, but that's always my goal.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I remember tracking you in Detroit Lakes 4 years ago.
So Dave Gentz's number one goal is to go ice fishing by Thanksgiving every year.
After Thanksgiving, you were in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and I remember looking at it on the map.
Russ, what's up, guy? Local Ohio dude dialing it in. We're listening to Dave Gentz. Talking about ice fishing.
On the Canadian border, Lake Minnegotia up there.
Daddy
The
and cursive.
north side of the lake is actually
Show
Indiana.
them.
You know, sometimes I have to drive that far to find ice.
Daddy and
That's always
cursive.
my goal.
And then one last interview. We got
Right
Tony
here we
Bosch.
got-
You
Uh-huh.
make me choose. Yeah, choose.
Lillian and Daddy and cursive.
Man, I've got a couple coming up from Ice
Oh,
Force.
and I can read.
The shuttle, the new lithium,
Russ, all has been well. We're going to be at Cabela's next Saturday
and
for our season 2 launch of Fish Addictions Radio podcast. I hope you can make it, man.
Back rods, so I can switch
It'd
it
be
up
sick.
as I go hole hopping around an area and show them something different when I come back through the area.
Hey, we got 2 people watching live. I think if I were to guess, it'd be Russ Myers and Larry Loma.
So we
Maybe
got
Tom Haggett.
Heart.
Maybe.
Love you in cursive, Lillian in cursive, and Daddy in cursive.
Hook up, so you can charge your stuff while
I
you're
can
out there
read.
from your lithium battery. It's got light on it, so you can light up your
Oh,
pole.
and I'm also a mom to
That
this
is one of the things
lovely
I'm so
baby.
most excited for because I've asked for about a whole Thursday, and they finally did it.
So Tony Boschel was the most excited about ice
Everything on
fishing
that
season
ice.
because of this new lithium
Oh, no.
cage that you can put a Vexlar in. Lillian, next question is, what's your favorite memory while ice fishing? Now we asked Myron Gilbert, Brad Hawthorne, Brian Brosdale, Anthony Rodriguez, Dave Gentz, and Tony Boschel what their favorite day on ice was. But what's been your favorite day ice fishing? And if you're watching live, comment on what your favorite day ice fishing was, and we'll read it off to to the team here.
Yep.
So Lillian, what was your favorite day ice fishing?
I don't know what that means. Is it still going?
What's that?
Is it still going?
Yeah, they're both still going. Yeah. What was your favorite day ice fishing, Lillian?
I liked when it was my first time on the ice.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah, that was a good day.
All right. So we're going to listen to the same 7 anglers talk about their favorite day on ice. So we've got Brian Brosdale, Myron Gilbert, Dave Gentz, Anthony Rodriguez, Brad Hawthorne, and Tony Boschold. So let's listen to what their answers are on what their favorite day on the ice was. Christian's wide awake up there. You hear him?
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys can't hear him on Facebook Live there. Did you hear that? All right. Sorry about that. Excuse me. All right. You ready?
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I've had a lot of them, but my most memorable evening was when we got presented with a gold medal. You know, so
Myron Gilbert.
My most memorable day of fishing. I think my most memorable day though would be my first day in world competition, and I'm getting stumped halfway through a 3-hour heat. I haven't even had a bite yet, and so that's
awesome, Russ. We look forward to seeing you.
I'm pretty happy with that result, but that's when, you know, the pressure's on. You know,
Russ, what was your favorite day on the ice?
Ever cheer for JT.
Yeah,
I
would
do.
say that's my
Thank
most
you.
memorable time on the ice.
All right, so that was Myron Gilbert. Next is Brad Hawthorne. Favorite day on the ice?
Oh, I'd have to say was 2 seasons ago, I had a bunch of my really good customers out as a group of 10, and we literally pulled
I don't have them downstairs.
108
They're all packed up for next Saturday
out
in the garage.
in about
Don't worry about just
hours.
that one.
I was
Doodling
running
on my postcard.
I wasn't even opening the doors of the otters. I was like, how many fish you got?
Daddy,
We got 2 more. And I'm trying to keep track because they're not keeping track. And
Go try to find it,
literally,
yeah.
once they hit that, I'm like, everyone's limited.
Sure.
Stop fishing. We're done. And it was just
Can I go
crazy.
check
At the end of that
outside?
was
No.
they had never caught
I'll go
walleye like
check
that
outside.
before. And it was
3
awesome
viewers.
day,
So,
and there was
Russ,
also about
thanks for
$400
tuning
at the
in.
end of that
Who
day.
else is viewing right now? Is it still?
May be dumb,
G.
but they're instinctual, and we have to be.
A,
It's gonna really be.
A.
You really gotta know where they're
L.
what they're doing. But by the same token, just go. Going fishing is important, and watching
Dude,
the fish.
remember when we caught the Lawrence? When we caught the
And,
sticklebacks?
You know,
When we were fishing the
it was
outside the first day, like
warmed
first
my
fish
heart
were the
to see
sticklebacks.
Every kid.
I remember
out
that. That
there.
was awesome. And you had the towel, remember? The Norfin towel? That was
My
sick.
dad passed away, my mother passed away, and at an early age, and I just remember what they taught me carried me through life, and they would be proud as a pro many years later I'm sponsored by companies and I do fishing tournaments and I want to pass it on. And
Found another one in the
ice fishing is my
Can I
favorite
take
sport.
up Lillian?
There's no waves. It can
Can I
be
take
windy,
up
you just go in your
Lillian?
fish house. There's nothing
Huh?
that could ruin
You
your
can right
day.
there.
But so I would say just
Right.
leave those kids
Else can I
get their
press
fish.
instead of this?
Now we're listening to Anthony Rodriguez, Best Day on Ice.
Oh gosh, so many to pick from. I would have to say at this point the most
How do
memorable
you get this to go off?
memorable part of my
If the
ice
green
fishing career would
buttons
have
are
to be
still on,
walking
does
out
that mean
under
it's
the
still
world
on?
state
Yes, you
competition.
should stop broadcast.
Yeah,
So we're live.
just getting ready to enter my zone.
Can I
I
press stop?
didn't know whether or not I was going to cry or start laughing or what was about to happen. So
Hey,
I have to say that.
Anthony Rodriguez Lawrence, he's saying first day on the Worlds. Yeah.
And where was that? Where was
What
your
happens?
first world?
What happens if you press?
That was in Finland. That was in
Try
Finland,
it.
all the way over
See what
to
happens.
Finland.
I tried it. It just does.
Lawrence,
Like,
you go to college too?
Remember, when you ice fish as much as I do, there,
Dave
many,
Jens.
many of them
favorite day on ice.
that come to mind at the moment. So if I pick one out, is, catching these big bluegills out in Nebraska is probably the thing when you.
Rob Greer, I know you're not watching yet, but when you watch the live video back, Dave Gent's talking about Nebraska right now.
And,
Sorry, guys.
couldn't find somebody to go at the moment my wife jumped in the vehicle with me. We, drove as far as Sioux Falls, South Dakota, slept in the vehicle for a few hours and arrived in Valentine.
If you are
Nebraska.
watching
That's the way
live,
they actually
comment down below what's your favorite day ice fishing.
1 pound bluegills. Yeah,
That's heavy, Lillian.
Awesome. Yes.
You know what the average pound bluegill is?
There was a few friends of mine out there that was communicating with why I went. And we get ready to leave, and my wife goes,
That's your answer to that question.
We're not leaving. Why not? I haven't caught one yet. And we go over a pound.
Boy, I love this co-host right here.
My
Keeps it
job was
fresh.
to drill holes until she got one. And she did.
I think I should keep on doing these to Daddy's postcard because he said that this is why I love my co-host. There I go again.
My wife
This is so much fun.
with me live during the season 2 launch of the Fish Addictions Radio.
She's upstairs putting Christian to sleep, but she'll be down soon.
With me, so thank you so much for
Hey, Brett joined. Brett, what's up, dude?
Man.
Tony Boschel. I stumped him on every question.
Between the championship wins and
Good
the
show.
first time ever. The first time ever, I was an adult, and I was one of those people that no
love
that had to
this.
fish on an ice fish.
Hey, Brett, what was your favorite day
Around
ice
the year
fishing?
2001, Mike McNabb and Greg Crowler
This is
took
so
me
much
out.
fun, doesn't it?
Totally
Fun.
interviewed McNabb.
And
Yeah.
We're going to try to get his recordings in before next
And I
Saturday.
was like, "Are you going to go winner?" And they're like, "You sure can." And so, I saw the
I know-
instant power
I
of
know what
his
you
design,
mean.
his invention,
It
the
just
Legend
means-
Ice Rod, with
It
the spring
just
bumper.
means
And they showed me how to work it, and I immediately caught hundreds of fish instantly. It was amazing, and I was hooked. So the first day is pretty much got to be one of my most memorable, most favorite days on ice, where we just laid them, and it was so eye-opening to be like, oh my gosh, I can ice fish all year long.
All right, so that was question 2. Best day on ice.
Mom just
So-
came down.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I don't think she got in the screenshot, though. So best day on ice. So, Lillian, question number 4. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's question number 2. Question number 3 is, what have you been doing in the off? So, Lillian, what have you been doing in the off season to prepare for this upcoming ice fishing season?
A lot of things, actually.
Yeah, tell me about them.
Well, I did soccer.
Yeah, and
I made a lot of friends.
you made a lot of friends. Okay, did you go to Lakeside at all? I heard you
Yeah, I went to
a little
Lakeside
bit.
like like a lot.
Yeah, so we just listened to season 2, season 2. We just listened to question 2, which is what's your favorite day on ice? After question 1, which was what are you the most looking forward to ice fishing season? Now we're going to ask the question, what did you do in the off season? We know what we were doing here at Fish Addictions Radio in the off season. We were talking about ice fishing, but we asked all the pros what they were doing in the off season, and so we're going to hear Myron, Dave, Bro, Tony, Brad answered that question next on Fish Addictions Radio. All right, Lillian, you ready?
What are we doing?
So we're just going to play the answers to question number 3. And we have a new Facebook listener that has joined in live.
Ooh, goody, a new listener.
Yeah, so we'll have to get some commentary on what they did this off season to prepare for the ice fishing season as well.
I've been pursuing fish year round, so
Myron's first.
Oh yeah, Myron.
They chase salmon in the summer, I chase walleyes in the summer on the big water, so I chase all different species of fish. I tell you, I see a lot of crossover.
Nicholas Hansen, yeah, I think catching fish with your daughter would be a very memorable moment. I know I've ice fished with this gal, my co-host, a lot. Come on over here. So yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of pride and joy when you see little girls catching fish. So that's pretty cool, especially 2.5 years old. That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that, Nicholas. Hey, what did you guys do in the off season? What did you guys do to get ready for this upcoming ice fishing season?
Getting the rod cases out, getting the big track machine ready. Actually, I just fired that.
This is Brad Hawthorne's answer.
I got
it. And just kind of get some bugs out, starting the augers, changing line. Like there's a big honeydew list that I have, and you can
don't forget the GoPro.
45 reel count, rod reel count.
Yeah, we'll get the GoPro. Hey, you can shut that door so that mommy doesn't have to hear us.
Machine that needs all sorts of different fluids put in it every year.
That thing is like
Brad Hawthorne's got this just ginormous tank. Okay.
Giant Russian, crazy old Russian tank thing. What is that thing?
It's a 19.
Laura Olson just joined us. Laura, what have you been doing this off season to prepare for the upcoming ice fishing season?
And they built them for back in the day. It was still in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. It was still seven.
I must have cut Brad off. This is Brian's answer.
For open rivers as the ice breaks. When the ice breaks on the rivers, I bring in my boat, checking the batteries to make sure they start. I always put my boat away in condition I could be ready to go. And
can you guys hear the audio okay on this?
On rivers.
Just give me a thumbs up if you can.
Catching walleyes and big sturgeon and whatever, and then when it gets cold again, everything freezes up because, springtime in nature is cool. They like to come back and say, oh, here's spring. Oh, no, it's not. And so I can't go back and forth because my fish house and my snowmobile are sitting in my yard and my boat's sitting there too. But I always put the cover on. I don't like snow in my boat if I don't have to. But so there is no off season from that time.
Fish Addictions TV is taking off. Your husband's doing a great job of embracing Fish Addictions Radio, helping us do some cool things throughout the summertime, and bringing on Lillian. I mean, that was a huge hire right there as a co-host. So thanks for your support of both the TV and the radio side, and we'll have to get you and Mike on the actual podcast together. That'd be great.
Don't find your phone. Go to the shops. Let me put stuff in your hand and I'll show you. So I put it upon myself. So everywhere I could possibly go, I've been to Ohio, Connecticut, Vermont, the eastern seaboard, and the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Got my Otter portable out.
Michigan. And you can see
dried it out. Yeah, make sure there's no like mouse holes and that kind of stuff in there. Yeah. Thorn Brothers, really nice place to go. They've got those like custom rod things you can play with. Awesome. Do they have a bunch of ice fishing stuff out at Thorn Brothers yet?
In professional fishing and ice fishing is very important to me, and I want to see it get bigger. But I also want people to know,
yeah,
it's a very good.
I put my mom on the podcast.
And
had it up for like a
that's
couple
why-
hours. Yeah, she was not
As you're saying that, my
not excited to be on video, so I understand that completely.
Live at Cabela, so you're sure.
Wendell joined us. Mike, what's up, man?
Right now.
So we're gonna listen to Anthony's answer on what he did in the off season.
Reading on the new products. I'm always looking for the newest, greatest, latest, something just to help the game step up just a little bit.
Mike, M-I-K-E.
Your gadget, and I like that. I like new stuff that's gonna help me eliminate time.
Hey, Mike. Mike, what are you doing this off season to prepare for the next ice fishing season?
I'll kind of give you my
This is Dave Gentz's answer, by the way.
We just got Mike on the podcast.
Joe, we can't wait to have you sitting next to us and answering these questions with us. It's going to be awesome.
So I haven't got a lot of
Joe,
things on my honeydew list completely for fishing time again. So I picked walleyes in from.
Joe, you may be able to give the audience a sneak peek. What have you been doing this off season to prepare for the upcoming ice fishing season?
About the middle of June, and then I fished bluegill from the middle of June till the 4th of July. And then that 4th of July,
Counting my jigs, just like you count the days, baby. I love it. What's the smallest jig you got, Mike?
And
I know the answer to that question. One I probably gave you from Latvia or something like that. But Mike, he's a crappie guy, so he might actually have some fly tackle that's a little bit smaller than that. So,
man, been really busy working.
This is Tony Boschel's answer to what he's been doing in the off
I've been through
season.
all my stuff. I've already written some articles and done more interviews.
Tony's in fisherman pretty much every year.
To try and bring new stuff and fresh stuff to people. And
Yeah, about
pretty
that
much,
big, yeah.
Already sorted through it all. I moved into a new home this summer. All my ice stuff and my sled is in the new koi garage that I finally own. So really excited about all that. And
We got 7 viewers.
yeah, just,
This is awesome, man. So we're Fish Addictions Radio Season 2 test. We're actually playing the answers to the questions that we asked the pros, just to make sure that the flow goes well before next Saturday live at Cabela. So make sure to check us out live Saturday at 7 p.m. We're doing a little more dialogue with the online audience today, though. So if you're in, comment, tell me who you are, and we'll give you a shout out live on the podcast here.
So I've already been through all that stuff when I moved in. Beginning of August. So, yeah, it's been great.
So Tony just organized his stuff. Gens was fishing. Bro was fishing. Anthony Rodriguez was looking at articles. Mike Wendell was counting his jigs. So we've had a lot of answers as to what people are doing in the off season. And ice fishing is kind of an interesting sport in that it's a pretty long off season, right? You got like 3 months on and then a bunch of time off. So when you're talking to the pros, the top of the top in the industry, that's always been my question is, what do you guys do in the off season? Hey, Rick, welcome to the podcast, man. So we just listened to question number 3 on this Fish Addictions test episode. Question number 3 was, what are you doing as a pro in the off season to prepare for the ice fishing season? Now we're going to ask those same pros the 4th question, which we've talked to them about what their favorite day on the ice is. Now we're going to hear from them on what the craziest, most absurd thing that's ever happened to them on the ice is. I can tell you I've had a live animal come up through an ice hole into the shanty that I've been inside of, and that's pretty absurd. So if you've been to any of my online or in-person seminars, you've heard that story. Ryan Kearns, if you've ever been to one of his seminars, he usually likes to tell that story too. Lillian, what's the most absurd and crazy thing you've ever done on the ice while ice fishing?
Let's see. It was pretty silly because I almost fell into the ice, but I really didn't.
Almost falling into the ice is definitely something that's silly. So we're going to listen to the answers of the pros in question number 4. Sorry about that. I got some gas, those beans. Mike Olson, what's up, buddy? So Mike Olson's watching. Hey, show Mike if you wrote his name down. She wrote your name down, buddy. Yeah. So check this out, Mike. So she's been looking for things to doodle on. So she picked that of all things, right?
JT.
And check out the first name on there. Oh, snap. Mike Olson right there, brother. Just for you. So we're going to listen to all the pros' answer to question number 4. We only asked
And
them
a
5
little
questions.
heart next to Mike.
We only asked them 4 questions. So, you know, we're almost getting to the end of our test podcast for next week's real podcast. This is kind of sad. So if you're listening to the actual podcast on Facebook Live right now, comment so I can see who's in the actual feed. So Rick, we're about to listen to the pros about what their craziest day on ice was. Mike, you can answer this too. What's been your craziest day on the ice? Oh, we got to get the volume fixed on question number 4. Question number 4 is not playing anymore. And that's why we do a test podcast, because we got to make sure we get all the kinks out. So, you know, maybe the radio show is going to be gold next week, right? Or
Want me to turn it up?
maybe there will be issues with the podcast. Either way, it's going to be very exciting to watch. So make sure you tune in next Saturday at 7 p.m. Here is the answers to question 4.
Somebody fall through.
I got it up.
Yeah, that's a tough day on the ice for sure.
Yeah, it was a tough
Can I
day.
hit
I
it?
watched a couple machines go through. Yeah, that's probably my crazy.
You hanging live?
That
Thank
was
you.
all boring. Catch a few
I'm gonna
great
hit
things,
volume,
fish
okay?
around,
Brian
and see
from
how they go.
Arizona. What's up,
Figure
dude?
it out. Those we don't have patience like that.
Craziest thing
Can I
was a
click
few
that?
years ago. You can photo shoots and all that usually happen later in the year because it's just later in the year, you know.
Dude,
Guys are busy
jamming a
working,
Motley Crew and
and
grilling
we
burgers
go up
on
to
the
the
ice. That
Northwest
is
Angle.
definitely crazy, Rick.
The resort
I love that you're
full.
by Buckeye Lake. That's not too far away from where I'm at.
They're done. They're done for the season. And I stopped in Young's Bay, and I'm like, I brought both the snowmobile and the wheeler, and there wasn't very much snow. So I took the
Hello,
wheeler,
Secret Admirer,
hung over there
Laura.
down
Thank
there,
you very much.
going to Young's Bay,
Thor
and I talked to the
joined.
lady, and I was
Thor,
like,
love
"Oh,
your
this
name,
is
by the
trail
way.
last year.
That's a
I'll-
Viking name
I'll
doing
do
through.
it."
I love that, man.
She goes, yeah,
Brian
thanks, bro.
Coons from
I'm like,
Arizona.
okay. Jump on the wheeler. Start following the same trail.
This is Brad
as last year, the
Hawthorne's
same track
question.
that I
Answer
had
to the
recorded.
question of what the
And I
craziest
get
things
in
ever happened to
between
him
two
on the
islands,
ice.
And the back end of my wheeler dropped through, but I was
So
going
what
fast
time?
enough to where
We don't do that on
I
Buckeye
got
Lake.
off it, right?
Will, will,
Maybe some people do.
so will
I will.
that turn up if
And
I turn
It
this
was
up?
just
No.
the front
What
wheel was
will
going in, the back wheel was going in, the front right,
What
the
does
back
that
left. They were
volume
all going
connect to?
in. Oh,
What does
I
that
was going about
volume
45
connect
miles an hour. And if I
We should
was
do a
going
show in
any
Arizona,
slower,
Michael.
I would have went in. And
I think there's lakes in New
this was
Mexico
about
that
1/4
freeze
mile
over that are up in
stretch
the
where I was
mountains. That would be
I
so
was
cool if we
literally
could figure out a way
throwing
to
stuff
logistically
off
get
of
the
my
film
wheeler.
crew down there and
I was
film that
throwing-
episode.
My LX7 off. I threw 3 graphs out just to try to like lighten the load.
Brian,
And
put you on that
Apollo
detail.
13
Find us
is
ice down by where you live. We're coming down there. We're gonna film in New
just
Mexico. It's gonna be sweet.
completely pinned. And I blew right by Sunset doing about 50, and I hit an old road, and I was like, okay, cool, an old road, I'm good now. And
Yeah, we don't have roads on the ice here
I
in
went back and
Ohio.
walked the shoreline. picked
No
up
roads
all
on
my
Buckeye
stuff,
Lake, I
you
don't
know,
think.
And I was like, there's only like 6 to 7 inches of ice here. Like, this is spooky as heck. So I grab my screen, get them back on the wheeler. I go into Sunset, and there's people there. They're like, holy cow, we can't believe you went through there.
So
And
for
I'm
those
like,
of you that don't know
okay,
Jacek and
somebody
Zibby,
told me it was
you probably
girls
do.
last year. Like,
if you don't know about their
no,
spirit
no.
juice, that will make
That's
any
been, like,
experience a
that's
crazy
open
experience. I
water.
had spirit juice at St. Paul my first year. I've never had it again, and there's a good reason why.
You had the nebulous there just in case, right?
Joe, you don't have the kid about the spirit
No,
juice,
I
man. That
don't.
stuff's
I
crazy.
I had my throwable cushion, and I always put more air in the tires in the winter just to keep it floating, you know.
Yeah.
Never thought about that, by the way.
Good tip. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I just
All right, so that was Brad Hawthorne. Here's Brian Brosdale's
Well,
answer
I know
to craziest day on ice.
Or a couple times when it was warm, but one day it was 80 degrees. And I was out on the ice, and we had a massive amount of ice. We had 4 feet of ice. And, one thing you got to remember, even when it gets warm, it doesn't go away instantly. takes a long time because
We got 3 people watching right now. If you're watching,
area
comment in the
above
comment
iceberg,
section. I'd
where
love
the
to
sun's beating
hear
down
who's
on it. But
watching
anyway,
and
they're ice fishing.
and what's the craziest day you've ever had on the ice.
And catching fish like no tomorrow. And you could, the ice wasn't even rotten. And I know ice, I know how to read it. If you don't know how to read ice, don't go on it at all. But you could ask questions about it, when you see me in the stores. But reading it was really strong ice.
Ooh, 4 watchers right now. Jimmy Vlatica just joined.
But yeah,
James,
it was 80 degrees
what's up,
on
buddy?
ice, and that was unbelievable.
Dude, what's up?
And catching fish. And we had to put sunscreen on or get baked. Because
my co-host is snacking.
The sun from the lake itself.
Next Saturday, we're going to have to bring lots of snacks. Brandon, my guy, how you doing, brother? Listen to Brian Brozo's answer of question number 4, which is, what's the craziest day he's had on ice?
So it's that reset button that always drives people crazy in areas in the ice belt. But you know what? For those who love ice fishing, it was fun, and we were all safe.
Dude, your dog is insane, man. James, your dog is like trained. So have you had your dog get fish from the ice yet? Is that like, you had that thing going on? You got to train your dog to like get other people's fish, and add them to your pile for competition. That's what I'd be working on next for you, James, if you had them.
But there's a circle 6 inches high for where the bucket was sitting.
I'm back.
But
Brandon, I can't believe we still haven't met after all of the crisscross.
The ice was still around for 3 more weeks.
Eventually, we got to do it. Hey, next Saturday, if you want to come to Cabela's, 7 o'clock, we're going to be live doing this at Cabela's. So if you can make it down to Cabela's next Saturday at 7 o'clock, we'd love to have you.
You can't ignore that kind of temperature.
That's awesome.
And I've been on boats on wheels like the world.
We'll have to put a jack on that detail, just to make sure. Stop putting them in the bucket.
People on this podcast.
And I just want to make sure that we're always safety first. And we're not going to go through the ice. We got all the stuff. But the one thing I want to tell everybody out there, no matter if you're on safe ice or bad ice.
James, we got to get you on the podcast. I'm just not thinking about this. Write this down. My cell phone number, 734. She's writing it down. 740-4410. Text me. Say, hey, it's James Vlatica. We'll get you on the podcast. And that goes for all of y'all that are listening right now. That's for you. Yeah, just text me. We'll get you on.
And everybody, kids, mom, dad, everybody.
That's the phone number. If you can read it in my daughter's handwriting.
All the safety gear. Just like in a boat, you have life jackets.
That was Michael Olson's idea, by the way. Clay, what's up, dude? Hey, so I totally submitted my podcast, the podcast rodeo, after listening to your episode. I got feedback from Dave. I think it's Dave Jackson. So far, we've got a lot of work to do. So I'm so glad you signed up to be my mentor. I need it, man.
You can come to Saturday, just like this.
We'll do, James.
And you just need a way to drill through the ice. And
Aaron, my #1 fan, just joined. Aaron Eckelhorst. Hey, comment your answer to craziest thing that's ever happened to you on the ice. We're doing a test podcast for season 2 here in my living room. So we'll be doing this live next Saturday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
My co-host.
Hope you can come.
I was over my shoulders. I was like about 10 years old, and I was on my friend's pond, and for some reason,
Anthony Rodriguez has answered the craziest day on ice.
All of it really is that my mom told me to not get wet. That was her only thing. Because I'm running the audio on this.
Oh,
I think I might have cut off Anthony's answer on that. We'll have to go back and fix that. Josh Clausen just joined. Josh, do you remember doing the dance at St. Paul 2 years ago? Yeah. Dude, we need to do that dance again, man. Bring the ice just closer and closer every time we do the ice dance. Yeah, the ice fishing dance. Ice fishing dance, oh yeah. Ice fishing dance, oh yeah.
And my good friend Norm.
When Mike's still listening, we can do it together, man.
In March on a lake, which was extremely scary.
GoPro just died. That's why we do the test podcast and see how much of an actual life we need on the GoPro to get the whole thing wrapped up. Maybe we'll just fly out Aaron Alcohol and get him to build the video for us.
something to look forward to.
Oh no, our GoPro just died.
That is my thought. That if you're
Can I go?
This is Dave Gens's answer, by the way.
You really don't have to worry that you're going to fall to the ice and die.
Dude, snowmobile over open water. I'd be trolling if I was doing that. And this is Tony Boschel's answer to craziest day on ice.
Probably going to have to say falling through the ice. All through the ice last winter was pretty eye-opening.
I didn't charge my GoPro very much before this one, so I had to charge it throughout the week.
So that's probably one of the most crazy days on the ice that I've been through.
Stop podcast.
No, we got one more question, then we'll be able to stop it.
Rolling on the sled on the way in from the Michigan tournament and coming in late.
Actually, next Saturday. It's gonna be sweet.
Penalty.
Oh, we have 5 viewers. If you're viewing the podcast right now, comment in the comment section so I can see who's viewing, and then we'll ask you what the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on the ice is.
On a one-up machine. So try to keep it legal through the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, rolling and losing by 0.12 of a pound with a pound and a half
Oh,
penalty.
that's
one
sweet,
short of
dude.
a limit.
Power brick. Buying that.
Pretty heartbreaking. 2 points cost us team of the year that year, and we set a points record for all the points.
Are you making noises?
1 year.
Now,
Best co-host ever.
Lost the team of the year by 2 points.
yay, I'm the best
Albrecht.
co-host ever.
Cost us team of the year.
Give an acceptance speech.
What was the other
I
girl?
want to thank God. I want to thank my mom and dad for raising me to be a good co-host. I want to thank this podcast for giving me a shot.
Last championship,
I want to thank
Nationals, North
God.
American Fishing Championship with
I
Mike
want to
Hoffman.
thank myself for being on this podcast.
So if you're watching the podcast live, you're probably not hearing most of the audio.
Probably the silliest podcast
We're
ever.
talking over it, but next Saturday at Cabela's we'll be able to crank the audio, and then we're gonna like walk out and like talk to the audience while we're playing the audio. So it'll be a little bit easier to hear on the live podcast next Saturday at 7.
Deepwater perch and was snowing like crazy.
I've got
beaties on my
A
eyeballs.
giant
I'm
speaker.
about 25.
Sweet. You want to see it? Oh, I'll show you.
The white check over there, and I go, the white check over there, and I call the people. He's like, no, the one over there, all by itself. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like,
Oh,
yeah, that's my spot. I'm like, okay.
We're gonna bring
And
that
I
to
missed the fork in the
Cabela's.
road, and I rolled
And
up.
we got our Zoom H1 Clay.
We slammed.
Check it out.
He said,
That's my backup audio. We actually talked about you earlier in the podcast about having a backup to the 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 backup. So
my
that's
mirror
my
on the
backup.
snowmobile and dumped the shack, and everything was upside down, raining as we tipped it over, and we get there and everything in our shack is covered.
I hope so, man. It would be really cool to talk about some of the stuff they have there. But if not, I've got some stuff as well that I'll be bringing, so that should be good too. More to come on that.
Because our spoon went down a tiny hole, but the fish aren't coming up. Oh, it was.
And you won.
That was and we didn't even.
That is why.
We whooped them so bad. We didn't even need those perch.
So that was the craziest day on ice.
And 1 short of the limit on the crowd.
For Tony Boschel. So we have one last question, and this is actually my favorite question. So there's a lot of guys that listen to the podcast that are first-time listeners, literally never listened to the podcast, and a lot of the first-time listeners actually are not ice fishermen. But because of listening to the podcast, they've thought about ice fishing, and they might want to do ice fishing at some point in time because our podcast actually helped them want to go ice fishing. How cool is that? So I asked all the pros, hey, when you have a person who wants to go ice fishing, what kind of advice do you give to that person, right? And in the interest of time, I said if you could just save that question, if you only had one tip that you could actually share with somebody who's new to ice fishing, what's that tip going to be? And we've got some recorded answers from Dave Gens, Brian Brosdale, Tony Boschel, and Myron Gilbert. So let's get to those questions real quick. But yeah, we just listened to the question 3, which was question 4, which was what's the most absurd thing that's ever happened to these pros on ice? And so we're about to go to question 4, which is if you only had one tip to share to someone who's new to ice fishing, what would that tip be? So now we're going to listen to Myron, Bro, Dave Gens, Tony Boschwold, Brad Hawthorne give their answer in the last question of our test broadcast of Fish Addictions Radio Season 2. Next Saturday, we do it live for realsies, and we're getting all the bugs out this time around. So we got 3 viewers right now. If you're viewing and you haven't commented in the comment section yet, comment so I can see who you are. And then Lily, my co-host, just returned. We will actually engage in dialogue with you on this live podcast viewing. All right, sorry. I accidentally turned the phone off there. So let's get right to it. The last question, question number 5. We've got answers from all of the, I'm sorry. That Mexican food got me again. So, we're going to go to question number 5 with the best co-host in the world, Lillian Rose Albrecht. By the way, Clay, if you're still there, we're going to have Lillian on the show at some point in time too. It was cool listening to your daughter on the show when we talked about the hook in the leg. I hope I never have to hook this one because it's I'm not looking forward to that day.
Go with somebody experienced if you could. That which really helps to make the pound is like going to the team.
I heard you crying though. What's up?
Because there's quite a bit to it a lot of times. Ice fishing is very simple. It's very simple. I don't know what species of fish you're chasing. You got to understand that where they live.
Did you get it on camera?
What part of the lake they're in.
Did everyone see it?
A lot of people, they lose complete concept of what happens like once you go.
She just got injured on air and I didn't even notice it. So how good of a dad am I? Not that good. Sorry. Let me get some boo-boo.
It's in my hand.
Sometimes not quite true, of course, but
Yeah, go with experience. Absolutely. If you're new to angling. So yeah, if you're looking at the podcast right now, live on Facebook, comment, what is one tip that you would give to a brand new angler? Thanks, Russ.
One of the most, it's the funnest thing you can do in the winter. And I'm biased, yeah. But you can take your family out there, you can take your friends out there, you can get outfitted if you go on Craigslist and spend $200 to $300.
Anthony's on. Dude, Anthony, your answer
podcast
about your favorite day on ice led me to ask all these pros what their favorite day on ice was. And actually, your answer is in the pre-recording of this Fish Addiction Season 2 launch.
Ever told a bad story about ice fishing? They didn't have fun. That's basically it. Have fun. Have fun ice fishing and
the
whether that means
podcast.
bring candy or video games for the kids, whatever that means, broth, some hot dogs.
I love
Number 1 rule, have fun while ice fishing, because if you don't have fun doing it, someone else is gonna.
Well, just remember, you need a bucket to throw your stuff in, and the rest is up to you. Spikes are cheap. You can get expensive spikes, $60. You have spikes you can climb them all, or you walk across the lake.
Anthony, what's one tip that you would give to a brand new angler on ice this year?
And then I'd like you to buy some Pro Series rods, but if you can't do that, just get anything, go. And you don't need a big power auger. You can use a drill that you have in your garage.
time to open up some
A drill bit in it. All you gotta do is get through the ice. And we have electronics, we have drills, we have houses, we have everything you need.
Podcasting parches the mouth.
But go and talk to your local stores. I'm telling you, you don't have to go online for this. Go to your local.
Hey, we got
store.
5 viewers right now.
If
If you're viewing the podcast live on Facebook, this is our test for Season 2, which is going to air next Saturday at 7 p.m. live for realsies. Comment so I can see who it is. We're asking everyone on the live feed what's one tip that you give to someone who's about to go ice fishing this season that hasn't ice fished before.
Definitely, they love to get people in ice fishing. There's nobody in fishing that doesn't want you to fish.
If you're watching the YouTube feed, Lillian is all over it. So yeah, Facebook I've got like further away so that she can't actually touch the phone. But yeah, YouTube, man, it's like zoomed in on her face. She's playing with the laptop. She's like doing a bunch of stuff. Joe,
Do you know
awesome
the
tip.
pin
Dress
number?
warm. Yeah. If you're cold, you're not having fun. If your feet get cold, you're definitely not having fun. Like the day's over, man. You're done.
Where'd the pen go?
Oh gosh, you know, I give you the tip a lot, and I gotta thank Captain Myron for this tip because he's the one that shared it with me, and ever since he shared a little bit of information with me.
Yeah, good, really good information, Anthony. Yeah,
And
it's like when we go overseas, we have to get information about what we're about to get ourselves into as kind of novices overseas. We're kind of rookies every time we go overseas, so very similar for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to a lot of people.
And that may
Get your
sound
groundwork done.
but there's so much truth in that. You know, I'm a much better angler on the fish than I am off the fish. So absolutely, and that's everybody. So
I fallen into the Myron trap. You know what the Myron trap?
Chaz just joined. Chaz, it was your birthday like yesterday, wasn't it? Happy birthday, Chaz. Live on the Facebook feed. Hey, Chaz, what's one tip that you would share to a new angler that's never ice fished before? What'd you do? Why'd you do that?
Look next to Myron.
I didn't do
it. And didn't get fish. I'm done trying to fish around
My co-host is trying to end the YouTube live feed. Technically, I already ended the
No,
Facebook live feed, so
and that's the thing about chasing a bite versus, you know.
say hi to Chaz. This is his birthday yesterday.
That would be my other tip.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Chaz.
birthday!
Make your own bite. Don't you?
Chaz, you're a celebrity at Fish Addictions Radio because you're in every picture, it seems like. So
You know, just-
hopefully that's a good birthday present for you.
Myron knew exactly what the fish were. how
Chaz,
they wanted
also
it,
an
and
M&I Ice guy. He's who we were talking about, podcasting and podcasters in the intro
Very
there.
tough to do against a top-notch angler like Myron.
As Anthony Rodriguez's answer. Got two more answers, and then we're done for the night.
The way so angler can do it is
Dave Gens.
make sure you fish through sundown. You know,
Really good
don't
tip.
go up at 11 o'clock and fish until 2 and go
A
home.
lot of new anglers do that. They go from 11 to
Get
2.
out on the ice.
Not a good time to ice fish. They don't bite during lunch for some reason.
In December.
When
Yeah, so you get out there at,
It'll be
3
music.
o'clock and fish till 5:30.
I don't know if we're playing any music tonight. We'll play it at Cabela's though on the end.
That's the
You want me to play music at the end this time around? Yeah.
Decide to go and do it. and
Play music at the end.
Before the fishing gets easy. I would say to hook up with somebody who has some experience, maybe like a guide before you make a
Sorry, wrong Chaz.
and everything.
Just read the last name there. I'm pretty far away from the phone, so I only see the first name.
Does this turn off?
Experience
Yeah, what's
without
that?
a big commitment of, a $500 auger or.
This is Tony Boschel's answer to tip to a new angler.
Love it.
A good combo.
Hey, what's one tip you'd give the new angler?
I don't know.
Do it more like a legend with the indicator.
I don't know. This is the silliest podcast I ever had. Hope it's the silliest podcast you ever heard.
In the winter and all that. So the legend ice would be the first purchase, and then
I think Clay dropped off.
you can do the handoff.
He was so embarrassed by our podcasting skills, he just dropped it.
This is going
I'm gonna email you
great
what
so
Dave
far. I
Jackson's-
love it.
$20
Got some stuff to work on.
Your auger gets used by your cordless drill.
It's a fly. It's like bothering me. Hopefully at Cabela's there are no flies. You know what's going to be at Cabela's though? Giant fish swimming behind us the entire time. And Joe DeVero and Lillian Rose. So, and a lot of people that we've been talking to through the live feed that live in Ohio that are going to drive down and make the trip. Anthony, you coming down? All right, so that's it, man. Lillian, you want me to play some outro music for you?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, here we
I'm
go.
ready when you are.
Okay, here we go.
Wait, are we still on the podcast?
No, we're not on. We're done.
Oh, can I press done? Can I
Kind of.
press done? I can.
Yep, you can send off those people. Stop broadcast there. Hey, Bill, we're gonna be at Cabela's next Saturday at 7 p.m. You can stop by and say hi to Lillian, my co-host. Fish Addictions Radio is an ice fishing podcast year-round. Every month of the year,
Is it off?
we actually send something out there. No,